So this is my short film review of Line of Fire, written and directed by Weston Porter. And the film is set in kind of small town America. We've got two characters. There's Oliver, played by Max Mattern, and Shelley, played by Sidney Flanigan. And the two of them are in a relationship, but they have quite a troubled home life each. So Shelley lives with her mother, brilliantly played by Cathy Moriarty, by the way. And there's quite a troubled relationship there, a lot of angst, a lot of issues, and we learn that Shelley's father now lives somewhere else with a family, and there's lots of resentment within that homestead. There's lots of sort of anger and volatility. The first family we meet, though, is Oliver's, and the opening scene is him being sort of wrestled on the floor by his brother Jacob. Jacob's played by Michael Kishon, and the home gets even worse from there. So he's got this brother who's wrestling him, and then his father, Bobby, played by Robbins, becomes very cruel, and I can't really actually say what he says on a video, but yeah, he ends up pointing a gun at his son's head, and this is the sort of troubled life that we see for Oliver. And essentially the two characters decide to get away from this small town that they live in, break free, but they realise they need money and cars and things to do that. So they make a kind of Bonnie and Clyde-esque plan to rob the local store and use that money to get away. I'm not going to go into any much more of the plot because there's not much left after that, and so you definitely want to experience that for yourself. It's only a 20-minute film, so they pack so much into this. And one of the criticisms I make in the written review, it's the only criticism really, is that the film just needed more space. There's so much going on here. There's so many incredible themes and important things going on, great character development. It just needed more time, and I understand sometimes filmmakers, they just don't have the budget or the time or the resources to make that film, but that's what it needed. When the film finishes, it felt like, are we done? Oh no, I wanted so much more. But that being said, it's a really powerful film. I love the intergenerational conflict that's going on. So we're seeing the impact that parents are having on their children in small town America, and how the experiences are passed down. How the things like toxic masculinity, or the way that we treat people of different persuasions, gender roles, lots of things are being examined here in a really coherent kind of way. It's not like as if we can't see these things happening, and a lot of them are related to one another. They did just need more time to go into those. But the fact that you could watch this 20-minute film, you could be talking about it for hours and days afterwards, because there's so much going on. There's so many aspects to the film and to the story that are resonating. And I live in the UK, it's an American story, but a lot of the themes are actually relevant to us. Some are not, such as the gun ownership comes up, and how that's presented to children, and how the idea of that is even brought into the idea of your experience in America. And there's also this idea of I was very lucky to get some messages from the filmmakers beforehand, so you know what they kind of intended. And the idea about America being the land of the free, you can be free to be whoever you want. And when we see the characters in this film, even the adults, but especially the youngsters, they're not being able to be free to be who they are. They are being persecuted, and they are being pressured into conforming to this sort of nuclear lifestyle that that's always being promoted. And I think the film does really well at showing that without getting on its soapbox. It's not a film that is saying this is terrible, this is the way we should be, everyone should do this. And often we see films taking a very liberal stance, or they'll take the opposite. But with this, it's kind of saying that, look, do you know what? Damage is being done, regardless of your political persuasion. Damage is being done, and it's time to sort of evaluate this, especially because a lot of that damage is being inherited. It's in the way that it's passed down from parents, and the parental responsibilities that we have. I'm a parent myself, and watching a film like this and seeing how, the things that I thought, things that I've been told, am I going to pass that along, or am I going to challenge that? Am I going to go the complete opposite way, and then is that going to create a problem? So I think it's a film that if you're an open-minded person, or at least able to listen to different voices and see what happens in a film like this and see if it resonates with you, it's really moving. The film's called Line of Fire, which is not to be confused with the Clint Eastwood film, but I think that is the deliberate connotation. I might be wrong, but something like a Clint Eastwood film, and Clint Eastwood as a staple of American culture and society, the gun-toting masculine presence, and how that actually isn't necessarily the experience that all boys are going to have, and the teenage boys in particular are going to find difficult to live up to if they don't like those things, if they don't conform to the norms. But yes, if you can take it out, I'd say the filmmaker is called Weston Porter, and the film I don't think is out yet. I'm very lucky to have watched it now, but hopefully you'll get to see it. If you have seen it, or if you do see it in the future, leave a message in the comments wherever you can, and let us know what you think, because the filmmakers would love to hear that. They'd love to hear what other people think of it, and we'll do our best to promote it where we can. But yeah, absolutely brilliant, really incredible. Just wanted more of it.